Hello. This card is made using Greenery Lane Washi Tape, and it is most definitely the star of making this card. So let's go ahead and get started. Close your eyes. I'm going to flip the camera around. Thanks. Okay. Thank you for joining me. I'm Kat, or Kat Abbott, from stamperkitty.stampinup.net. We are making this card using the Greenery Lane Washi Tape. It's wider than most washi tapes. It is about let's back up here, a little over 3.5 inches wide, and you get 15 yards of it. Yes, I said that right. Oh, no, excuse me, 10 yards. You get 10 yards of it. And it was featured in the 26 spring catalog, which has expired. However, it is currently still available online. Okay. And I'm excited to show this card to you because if you need a fast card, this is definitely the way to go. And we're also using the Greenery Lane stamp set. And there's also these Greenery Lane dies, which you can use to die cut out the images, but we're not doing that today. But I wanted to make sure you knew that these dies matched the washi tape. And this card is so quick and comes together amazingly fast. And that's the whole point of this card. And we are using garden green today. And the measurements for our cardstock, just very quickly, it is start at the beginning here. It is 4¼ inches wide, or tall, if you like, by 11 inches long, and it's scored at 5.5 because this is a type of card that can be opened and left like this. Okay, so that's the scoring. And then our white cardstock for the inside and the front is 5¼ inches long by 4 inches tall. Okay, that creates that layer. The garden green cardstock for the little sentiment is 2¼ inches wide by 2¾ inches tall. Okay, 2¼ by 2¾ and the basic white cardstock is 2 inches wide by 2.5 inches tall. Okay, so that's it for the measurements. Let's go ahead and get started. The hardest part of this card, believe it or not, and it's also the easiest, is dealing with the washi tape. After that, it's simply stamping. And truly, honestly, for me, the hardest part is wrapping the linen thread around this white piece. Not the green and the white, just the white. So, all right, I want to go ahead and show you a few tricks dealing with the washi tape. So I am going to turn it this way so it's easier for me to, let me bring the camera down just a little bit. Okay. I feel like I can never get bright enough for you guys. Okay. There. Okay. Now my camera's crooked. My apologies. Okay. I'm going to turn the cardstock, even though it's going to be this way on the card, I'm going to turn this piece this way so it's easier to work with the washi tape. And I've simply taken a piece of parchment plate paper so that I don't have to try and pick it off the edge. It's much easier to start it. And all I'm going to do is, first thing I'm going to do is get an idea how much I need. And I'm going to lay it on our silicone mat. That's part of the secret of making this card. And then I'm simply going to snip. Right. I'm going to go a little longer because I want this to show up more. Okay. Going a little longer than I normally would. Okay. So we're going to cut across. No secret to that. There we go. And I just want to make sure to put my parchment paper back underneath this so it's easy to start for the next card. Okay. Now that I've got and this is on the silicone mat, and this will not stick to it like it would with this mat. The silicone, it's wonderful if you're working with a hot glue gun or glue because it'll simply dry. If it's liquid glue, you let it dry and it'll just bead up and roll right off. And the reason I laid this down is I want to make sure I had this long enough. And I'm going to start this about 1/2 inch from the edge. And it doesn't have to be perfectly straight. And should you need to pull this up, you can. And what you want to do, I just happened to notice, I believe there's like a little hair. The trick to pulling this is pulling it straight back. Okay, like this. Oops. Okay. So I thought I saw a little piece of hair or something, but there's not. Okay. Usually it's my cat's hair floating around. So sorry to say it, our poor Zorro. He's in palliative care right now. He just turned 15 years old. We've had him for 14 and a half years, and I've enjoyed almost every minute of it having him. The part I didn't like was getting him to stay off my counters, and we tried everything. So anyway, so the washi tape you extend to beyond the edge of your white cardstock. So when you're cutting it, you can simply wrap it around. That's it. This is the star of the card. I kid you not. After that, it goes pretty quick. So let me stamp the little part. And we're going to do the love and hugs. Let me just put this right here so you can see this. Prop it up a little bit. We're going to do love and hugs. And if you didn't want to wrap linen thread around this, you could absolutely take the leaf stamp and stamp around here toward the bottom or at the top or however you would like. And you wouldn't have to wrap it with linen thread, but I feel like the linen thread just gives it a little extra. And we always like a little extra. I am going to stamp it more toward the top to allow room for the linen thread. There we go. It's a little bit off center. So, we have two sides. Let's try that again. No big deal. Matter of fact, I'm going to move this down so I can see it a little bit better. And there we go. Much more centered this time. Okay. So, and then for the inside, while I have my ink pad open, I'm going to stamp the other piece of cardstock with the wishing you well. And just going to walk it back and forth. And that looks really good. And I'm going to stamp down just a little bit, not too close to the top. Some people like to write a lot and some of us don't. But yet I do like to be able to write something. And then we have the leaf. And I'm going to stamp it like this. And like that. And then on the envelope, pardon my elbow. Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and stamp that down in the corner. Okay. So that takes care of our stamping with the garden green ink. So now I need to put this together. And I'm not kidding. This is the hardest part for me. So maybe we'll learn something together. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start. This is about 17 to 18 inches long, okay, of our linen thread. And until I've been stamping, well, all kinds of notes, okay. An old graduation card. All right, so I'm going to leave quite a bit off the edge so I have room to tie when it comes time for tying. And then I'm going to circle this around. And if it's not right, no big deal. This is a little too short. So what am I going to do? Unwrap it and wrap it again. So this time, let's leave about 1.5 inches off the edge. That looks like to be a better length to leave off. I am going to try and wrap this a little differently. Okay, so that we have, okay, so, all right. And I'm simply going to do a square knot. It doesn't matter where the square knot is on here because we can move it around. You'll see what I mean by that in just a moment. So I have my finger holding it down and got it tight. Okay, so it's not quite centered here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to squeeze this, kind of bow it a little bit, and then you can just simply move it around. It makes it much easier to move around. So I went a little bit too far. There we go. That's better. Okay, and now I'm going to leave that like that. We're going to use glue dots to attach the white to the green. I didn't want to use dimensionals because of the fact that we're already having embellishments put on here, which are fairly raised up fairly high. So I don't want to use our dimensionals to raise this up anymore, but I do need to raise it somewhat because of the linen thread here. So I'm going to take your pick tool, pull them off, stick them on. And you can always do extras of these if you need to. You could roll them up if you needed to. There we go. Oh, I missed one. Another way to apply the glue dots is, let me tear this off and I'll show you. Another way to do the glue dots, I'm not sure if you can see them hardly, is you can lay your cardstock on top of it, okay, and simply pull away from it. And that's another way to attach glue dots. And I want to make sure I have enough here to glue this down, especially around where the linen thread is. Okay, that looks pretty good. Actually, I would like another one right there. On, there we go, lay it down and pull it. Okay, we're good to go. And kind of want to look at the sides, top, bottom, side to side. That's looking good. And here we go. So now, next thing is I want to give this a little bit of a haircut. And this card could be sent to a guy or a girl. Especially with the linen thread, it gives it a little bit more of a masculine feel to it. And let's go ahead and finish gluing our card together. And this card is quick, as I said, and the washi tape definitely is the star of the show. And you can also use it vertically if you would like. You could run your washi tape this way on your cardstock if you were doing a vertical card. Okay. Like how this looks, really good. And the piece with the washi tape, I lost it. Nope, I didn't. Here we go. Have you ever lost something on your table or your craft table or your crafting area when you are working with things? I have found that is just the nature of paper crafting, always losing things, and then eventually they pop up again. But it's rather aggravating when you're looking. So you'll notice I pulled the glue. You get a finer bead, not so thick. And now I'm going to lay this down. Okay, there we go. And this we're going to simply glue down. And again, I'm pulling the liquid glue. Liquid glue is probably my preferred form of adhesive, only because it allows me to still move my cardstock around in case I've decided that it's not quite the way I wanted it. And I'm not centering it. I am putting it off center, kind of an equidistant border top, side, and bottom. So, and it'll take a little bit for it to glue, for the glue to dry on the washi tape. I'm going to move this up just a little bit. There we go. So there we go. And then I happen to have these embellishments. In case you have them, they're called holographic resin dots. You can use whatever you've got. If you've got pearls, you could use pearls. That would look good. Rhinestones, absolutely. Just a trick I want to show you when adhering the embellishments. It's easier if you lift them up and take your pick tool and come up underneath and pick them up. There we go. And these happen to come in 3 different sizes, so I am going to use the small, medium, and large. You could absolutely use all the same size. And when using embellishments, you normally want to use odd numbers, and typically 3 seems to be a good amount. And what you do is you kind of make a triangle with them, and it's just pleasing to the eye. Odd numbers are pleasing to the eye because it doesn't expect everything to match up. So there you have it. There is our quick and easy card using the washi tape. The I forgot what it was called already. The Greenery Lane Washi Tape. And I would definitely order it if you don't have it, because it's worth having around, especially 10 yards. It's going to last me a really long time, and that's okay because I think this is a great card. One more tip. Sometimes I did that with my first card, is you might have a few little wrinkles. I don't know if this is going to show up. Let's see. It's hard to see it, but sometimes you might get a little wrinkle. You can just take your finger and smooth it out, or you could also take a bone folder to smooth it out. So that's it. Our quick and easy Greenery Lane Washi Tape card. Have a blessed day. Thank you.